If you can overcome these 4 ways of thinking about yourself, your success in life is guaranteed. I'm Christelle Tomlinson. I'm a self-management strategist and public speaking coach, and you're actually catching me as I'm putting the final touches on my outfit to head to an event. I'm going to be doing a 1-hour coaching session and goal planning seminar with 20 women. It's called Pink Perspective, so I'm in pink. And as I'm preparing for the session, there is a component of the talk that's going to tackle self-confidence. Without self-confidence, and I'm going to give you a quote from the inimitable Black conscious Jamaican activist and one of our national heroes, Marcus Mosiah Garvey. He says, without confidence, and I'm going to impose on his quote here, without self-confidence, you are twice defeated in the race of life. I don't think people understand how important confidence is, and the things that we do to ourselves mentally that diminish the self-confidence and therefore lead us on a path to failure. Now, you may be looking at your life and thinking that the reason you're failing is because you're bad at planning, or you're failing because your goals are unrealistic. You're failing because you are a perfectionist, and so if things are not perfect, you never start. And it's funny, most people, when I'm doing a training session and I suggest that maybe perfectionism is the reason they haven't started working on a goal, most persons will say, yes, that's it. Perfectionism is, and I don't say this flippantly, perfectionism seems to be everybody's favorite flaw. We will admit immediately that the reason we are not further along in life is because we want things to be perfect. But I want to shake up your boat a little bit. I want to throw the marbles out of the bag, and let's rethink the reason. Yes, that we are not starting the things we commit to doing when we think about our goal planning. We are refusing to remain consistent when we do begin good things, or we are our very own worst enemy, self-sabotaging and ensuring that we fail. Self-confidence is at the root, I believe, from all the reading, all the research, all the training, coaching that I have executed and that I have experienced, lead me back to this simple point. Self-confidence is at the root of success and failure. Literally, if you're going to the soil of the reason that your life feels like you're failing, you're going to find self-confidence playing a big role in the soil type. And here is why. While self-confidence is something that we don't consider a basic need, when you think about food, shelter, clothing, of course we can't survive without food. But is it true that we can't survive without self-confidence? You might be able to survive, as in make it through the days of the week without it, but you certainly won't be able to thrive. And for some of us, even our very survival is in jeopardy because we lack that esteem and genuine belief in our capacity and our worthiness. And so we end up facing obstacles, as everybody will do, but finding those obstacles extremely difficult, and therefore we become unable to overcome the obstacle. Somebody who has a strong, positive sense of themselves, self-confidence, self-esteem, could face the same obstacles that a low self-esteem person faces and can bounce back from that with very little inconvenience. But when you don't have confidence in yourself, you look at obstacles as things meant to harm you. You look at challenges and difficulties as things that are bigger than you, that you cannot overcome. And you talk to yourself in ways that confirm you cannot overcome it. And the actions you take are meant to confirm that this thing cannot be overcome. And then what happens? The self-fulfilling prophecy, you don't overcome the obstacle, or it takes you 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 times as long as somebody else to overcome that same obstacle. So I want to challenge you today to think a little more deeply as we are, sitting in the days of our lives and assessing the time we have on earth, the talents that we were brought into this world with, the duty we have to express those talents and earn from the talents, serve with the talents, feel fulfilled through the expression of those talents. Where are you allowing any of these 4 thoughts to affect your self-confidence and lead you down a path of failure? Jay Shetty calls 3 of these 4 the cancers of the mind, but I'm going to share a 4th one with you. And I hope that it's clarifying and you're able to see where it might be relevant to you and what you can do about it. So the first Cancer is comparison. Looking at what you have and where you are in life and feeling that you are inadequate, unworthy, an absolute failure for not having what someone else has at that same stage in life. It's the consummate example of thinking that the grass is greener on the other side in the other person's lives. And you'll be looking perhaps on social media and seeing people you went to school with, you currently work with, you probably just left a relationship with. It looks like they are doing so well, and you are struggling to get your act together, to make ends meet, to fulfill your dreams and desires, to get your business off the ground, to earn. And so you begin to look at what they are doing versus what you have in your hand, looking in your basket, looking in their basket, and comparing the harvest and using that as evidence that you are smaller, weaker, inadequate, and unworthy. Speaking to yourself in that kind of way only serves to stimulate a sense of low self-esteem and low self-confidence. So stop doing that comparative analysis of your life in a way that makes you feel small. When we become able to look at other people's lives and be inspired by it, it can form a sort of fuel in our gut to propel us forward. But as long as we're using their lives, comparing us and them to make ourselves feel smaller, it ruins our self-confidence. And make no mistake, when you compare yourself to other people to make yourself feel bigger, it's also an expression of low self-confidence, because you need to do that to feel worthy. The other thing you have to challenge your mind when you see it happening is the need to criticize, especially your own effort. And that is what persons mean sometimes when they say they are perfectionists. They criticize the fine detail, the non-essential aspects of what they have done, what they have said, what they have as an idea, and that over criticism of themselves, their work, or the thing that could become their work is what prevents them from getting started in the first place. So you have to be careful as you're thinking through your plans. When you present them on a piece of paper, you're reading over them. Don't pick them apart to destroy them. Pick them apart to build them up and to move the pieces around. Share the idea with people who will not help you to destroy it and to put it in the fire and burn it as something that is not useful and will serve no purpose, but present it to people who can help you refine it and improve it. And always do that critical analysis within a deadline. Don't just tell yourself that you're thinking about it, you're looking at it, you're reviewing it ad nauseum. What is the window that you will be using to do the review? I'll give you my example. When I was in university, when we had essays to write, it all came down to a deadline, whether it was an examination deadline, so you're in the exam for 2 or 3 hours, or the assignment was due on a particular day at a particular time. There was a point when you could not read it over anymore. You could not improve on it anymore. And yes, you're sure that the lecturer is going to find some errors and something in there is going to be off and it's not going to be perfect, but we still got an A. We still got a B. For some of them, we still got a C, right? If it was anything to do with numbers, I was probably really scraping by with C's. But the point is, no matter how much more time you give yourself, you're always going to find reason to have one more thing to fix. And so that's why deadlines are important. Put yourself in a space where you're under pressure to finish. And yes, you're going to finish well because you're going to give yourself a review window. You're going to give yourself a moment to consult with your mentor, ask somebody to review, present it for a first draft so you can get it back. And within a deadline, submit a second draft of the proposal. But you're not going to be critiquing and tearing your work apart, your ideas apart ad nauseum, and telling yourself it's because you're a perfectionist, because what that is demonstrating is fear. You are afraid that what you have is not good enough. You are afraid that when you present it to the public, to the world, they will find a flaw. You are afraid that them finding a flaw in your idea, your work, your product is evidence that you as a human being are full of flaws. Here's the truth. 1, we are all full of flaws. But 2, wherever you got the notion or the idea that having flaws was something to be ashamed of versus something to consciously acknowledge and work towards improving and growing through the deliberate improvement on those flaws, wherever you learned that, they were wrong. We all have flaws and we're all showing up in the world with our flaws nonetheless. So please don't allow the possibility of criticism to be used as evidence that you will fail. One of my favorite things to say when the critics come is that when they come, they think they're doing me a disservice, they're harming me in some way, they're flooding me out and destroying my crop and my soil. But no, you're pointing me in the direction of something that could be refined, fixed, and improved so my harvest can be more bountiful. So you think you're flooding me out, and actually what you're doing is helping me to water my soil. I have too much confidence in myself. And when I say that, what I mean is I look at opportunities, I look at challenges, and I believe in myself and my ability to figure it out. So don't think that by pointing out something bad, you're destroying me. No, man. I have confidence in myself and my ability, my capacity. I am capable. So you can't frighten me by outlining a flaw. You can't frighten me by giving me criticism. I'll figure it out. And after I figure it out, it's only growth and expansion from there. The third cancer is complaining, always finding something wrong. And it relates to criticism in a way, but the most important distinction here is that when you are complaining, you're suggesting there's nothing that can be done about it. The power is not yours to make a change. Somebody's doing something wrong and somebody needs to come and fix it. So all the wrongs, as you're complaining, it's somebody else's duty to fix. And so you abandon the position of power that you hold in your life and leave it for somebody else to come and fix the problem. Now, there are some problems that absolutely other people need to fix. You're complaining that the problem has not yet been fixed. Does not fix the problem. So what are we doing? Are we looking, assessing, critically analyzing a situation to decide what needs to be done, who needs to do it, how we can hold them accountable, and if we are the ones to do it, how we can hold ourselves accountable to getting it done? If not, what's the complaining for? Except to continue keeping a record of all the ways that life is wrong and you are getting it wrong and things are just not working in your favor, and no matter how you try, you're always meeting up on a closed door, and so it's reason for me to give up. Complaining and not ending with a process and a strategy for solution is a waste of your time, and it's a waste of the person who is listening to you, their time as well. And remember, nobody wants to hear you complain about the same thing 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times. It tells them that you really don't want to find a solution and you're actually comfortable with an excuse to fail. Yeah, man, let that sink in. You start to sound comfortable that you have an excuse to fail. The final C that does not help you to build on your self-confidence and certainly leads you down a path of failure is this need to compete. Please understand that you're in a competition with nobody. Absolutely no one is in a race with you. Even if they think they are not. Nobody has come to earth and walked this same path before, so who could you possibly be competing with? The person has never existed and currently they do not exist. So really and truly, who are you competing with? The size shoes that you step into this world in, your foot alone can fit in that, and that's what we have to understand about purpose. Nobody else can put them foot on your purpose path. Now they can rob you of your energy, yeah, and make you feel as though you can't do it. They can say things to mess with your mind, infuse a few of the cancers in there, and cause you to stop walking on your path while they keep walking on theirs. But don't think that if you stop and they keep walking, they're suddenly walking your path, walking your destiny, living your dream and living your purpose. They're still in their lives. There's no way for them to change clothes and come into your life. And until that becomes possible, nobody can compete with you. Nobody can walk in your shoes. Nobody can do what you have been placed on this earth to do. A one a year alone make. The Jamaican in me just came out. Only one of you has been made. Only one. So who are you actually competing with? Yes, you started in the same arena as others, but the destiny and the destination are always different. They're always unique. And you have to open your eyes and realize that before it's too late. So don't mash up your own meds or meditation. Don't mash up your own meditation by thinking about other people when you should be thinking about what is required of you in this moment for you to do your best with what you've been given. It's all about your best and your next best step when everything feels overwhelming. If you have not yet found a way to get a handle on those 4 cancers, you're gonna fail. But here's the great news about failure. Even failure is an opportunity to learn and to grow. So if you have been struggling with those 4 C's, the criticizing, the comparing, the complaining, and the competing, it's not too late. Today is a perfect day. Right now is the opportune time to decide that you're going to stop. You're going to stop infusing cancer in your psyche so your confidence can be built, strengthened, and preserved for this journey you have to walk in life. Protect your peace, protect your meds, protect your confidence. You're going to need that if you're going to succeed, and there is no success without it. I hope this has been a power talk for you and a charge up that you might have needed to jump back into the game and get started, to stop the comparison, to stop the complaining, to stop the criticizing, and to stop the competition. You can do this. You've got this. And if at any time you feel as though you are not the one for this journey, or you won't get this thing right, I'm going to encourage you to repeat this affirmation. I deserve happiness and success in all areas of my life. I deserve happiness and success in all areas of my life. I deserve happiness and success in all areas of my life. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, remember to subscribe to the page, man. Lots more goodness in store for you. And if this you think is something that would serve someone you care about, please feel free to share it with them and comment below if anything has come up for you while you were watching this video. Love, light, and blessings to you always.